皆さんこんにちは Perth です Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel สำหรับคนที่ยังไม่รู้นะครับเพิร์ทพูดได้3ภาษาก็คือภาษาอังกฤษเป็นภาษาแรกแล้วก็ตอนอายุประมาณ20ก็เรียนภาษาไทยกับภาษาญี่ปุ่นด้วยมีหลายๆคนถามว่าทำไมถึงเพิร์ทพูดภาษาญี่ปุ่นได้ก็เลยคิดว่าทำคลิปอธิบายดีกว่า今日の動画で日本語今日の動画で日本語を勉強した理由と方法を教えたいと思います So in today's clip, I want to talk to you guys about some studying resources that I use, studying techniques, and also some tips. I also want to introduce you guys to a tool that was really useful for my Japanese study, and that tool is an application called HelloTalk. So HelloTalk is an application that lets you practice the language you're studying with native speakers of that language. So I'm going to go into more details about the application later in the video. もしこの動画好きでしたら、チャンネル登録といいねよろしくお願いします。では、始めましょう。日本語を勉強したきっかけは漫画です。19歳の時に漫画にとってもハマっていました。日本語を読めるようになる前にずっと英語版読んでいました。ほら、全部英語です。その時に読みたい漫画がたくさんありましたが、英語版にまだなっていないし、英語版になるのもすごく時間かかるし、それにいつ英語版になるかわからないし、読みたすぎて日本語勉強するって決めました。そして4年間ぐらい大学でも家でも日本語勉強していました。入学する前に本当に日本語全く何も分かりませんでした。本当にこんばんは、こんにちはくらいだけ分かっていました。それに入学したら違うひらがなとカタカナから日本語の勉強を始めました。大学で使っていた教科書はこれです。เล่มนี้คือเล่มที่ใช้ตอนเรียนภาษาญี่ปุ่นที่มหาลัยนะครับ I think this textbook series is okay. It's pretty good at teaching things such as basic vocabulary, but sometimes when it comes to grammar explanation, I think it can be a little bit too short. 家で使っていた教科書はこれです。元気という教科書です。So just like Minna no Nihongo, Genki also teaches the essential vocabulary, but I feel like when it comes to the grammar explanations like this, it's a lot more detailed and also provides much more examples that are easy to understand. The only downside about Genki is that it doesn't really teach much kanji, and I think kanji is really important for new Japanese learners. Learn your kanji. But this is a grammar booklet, so if it taught kanji as well, I think it would be like this thick. So if you're going to study kanji as well, I think you need to find some other resources. So another resource that I found really useful for Japanese study was Taekim's Guide to Japanese. I will write the website somewhere around here. So if you're having trouble getting your hands on a textbook at the moment, I highly recommend using Taekim's Guide to Japanese. 大学を卒業したらまだ日本語の勉強を続けようと思っていましたが、あんまりうまくいってません。でも去年、レベル N2 の日本語能力試験を受けるつもりでしたが、当日に前エンジニアの撮影がありましたので、受けられませんでした。でも来年また受けてみたいです。So to study for my JLPT exam, I bought these textbooks. So this is the Shinkansen Master series. I have Goi, which is vocabulary. I have Bunpo, which is grammar. And I have Kanji. Kanjiが大切です。So one thing you need to be careful about this particular book series is all the grammar explanation and word meanings, everything is in Japanese. So if your Japanese reading level is not as good as your other skills, then maybe you would be better off with a textbook with English explanations. I personally really enjoyed having everything written in Japanese because I feel like if you can understand the explanations written in the language that you're studying, then you really have a good understanding. Understanding explanation. Yes. So next I'm going to talk to you guys about a tool that I found extremely useful for my Japanese study, and that tool is the application HelloTalk. I also have an affiliate link with HelloTalk, which is in the description below. So if you're interested in using the application and you want to support the channel, please use my affiliate link to download the application. So HelloTalk is the world's largest language exchange community. It has over 20 million users from over 200 different countries. So at its core, what HelloTalk does is that it connects users with native speakers of the language that they are studying, so they can learn and exchange language, and it's all for free. So I've personally been using HelloTalk for around the past 4 years, and it helped me a lot, especially during my times as a university student. Okay, so let's take a look at my HelloTalk profile. I have English chosen as my native language and then Japanese as a language I'm learning. And currently I put my Japanese level as intermediate, right? So because I picked intermediate, the application will match me with people who best suit my language level. So to find people, you can use the search. So these people that come up here are my best match. And these people are located all around the world. But there are other options you can pick. So for example, you can choose nearby, and this will show you people who live near you. Or you can use something like serious learners. So what you do on HelloTalk is you post things on the moments wall. So on the moments wall, you can literally post anything you want. You can ask questions or just talk about your day. So let's go have a look at some of the moments that I posted. So for example, when I'm reading manga, if there's something I don't understand, sometimes I would take a photo of the manga, post it, and then ask what a particular word means. And then people will comment down below and tell me what it means. So another great feature about HelloTalk is it has a correction tool. You can see down below in the comment section that there's red and green. So the red is what I initially posted and then someone corrected it. So let me show you how the correction feature works. So to correct this person, I click here, then I click on correction. Now I can correct what they wrote. So you can see the corrections I made, then I click send, and it pops up in their comment section. The thing that I found the most useful was the chat feature. So I use this feature a lot, especially when I was in university, to chat with native speakers. So another great feature about HelloTalk is that it also has a translation feature. So for example, if we look at this message and I want to translate it, I hold down on the message and I click translate. And then you can see it translates into English down below. Another really good feature is the transliteration feature. So for example, if there's kanji that you can't read, you can click on transliteration and it will come up with the romanji and how to read the kanji on the top. If you're learning another language, whether it be Japanese or Thai or a different language, I highly recommend HelloTalk as a study tool. So if you're interested in downloading the application and you want to support me and the channel, please don't forget to use my affiliate link down below in the description. So next I'm going to tell you about some studying techniques that I used and also some tips. So the first tip I want to give you guys is that I wouldn't recommend learning romanji. So romanji is when you write the Japanese out in English letters. Now the reason for this is that I feel like learning romanji will hinder your pronunciation of Japanese. When you write things out in English letters, you're more inclined to put the stress where we would put them in English. So one example of this would be the city called Osaka. So when we write Osaka in English, we write O-S-A-K-A. So before I studied Japanese, I would call it like Osaka or something like that. But actually when you write it in Japanese, it's a long O sound and it's actually pronounced Osaka. Also, if you plan on going to Japan and practicing your Japanese, almost everything is written in kanji, hiragana and katakana. So you'll be struggling to read a lot while you're over there as well. Another piece of advice that I would give is that you should study kanji. So when you go to Japan, there is so much kanji everywhere. So before I went to Japan, I went there for the first time at the end of 2019. I thought that my kanji skills were pretty good. I thought that I could read quite a lot and understood a lot. But when I went there, I was kind of overwhelmed by the amount of kanji that I couldn't read. So please don't slack off on your kanji study. So as I said before, the reason that I chose to study Japanese is because I love manga. So of course I used manga as a tool to study Japanese. So I know a lot of you guys out there like to read shonen manga, battle manga and things like that, but I think if you're a beginner level learner, then I wouldn't use shonen manga. The reason for this is because there's a lot of hard and uncommon vocabulary. Also, the way that the characters speak is nothing like how people really speak Japanese in real life. So then if you started to imitate the way people spoke in shonen manga, then you might start to sound like an anime character in real life, which of course there's nothing wrong with if you want to sound like that. But if you want to sound more like a native Japanese speaker, then I would recommend something like shoujo manga instead. The reason for this is because I feel that shoujo manga is more easy to understand, and also the way that people speak, it resembles the way people really speak in real life. And also it's really cute, and who doesn't like a good love story? So this is one of my favorite manga of all time. It's called Aoharaido, and look at the art, it's so cute. Okay, so this is my old notebook that I used to use. So what I would do is I would write a word here, then I would write the meaning here,
and then I would write the sentence that I found the word underneath, and then also write the meaning in English.
That way, rather than just memorizing a single word and its meaning, you also know how to use it in a sentence. Another good thing about reading manga is that it helps a lot with kanji because most manga have furigana. So furigana is when you have really small katakana written next to the kanji. So even if you didn't know how to read the kanji before, it has the little hiragana next to it, so you can go and type it in a dictionary and find out what it means. 日本語の勉強を始めたら、日本の文化にも興味持つようになってきて、日本のドラマもとっても好きになりました。いつか僕の好きなドラマと好きな漫画の動画作ってみたいと思います。もしそういう動画に興味があったら、ぜひコメントしてください。So another thing that I used for my Japanese study was I watched a lot of Japanese drama series. So at that time, I would watch series with English subtitles, and I've heard a lot of people, they don't recommend doing this because you end up focusing on the subtitles too much. So it's important when you're watching the drama to try and be an active listener. So that means not just reading the subtitles and kind of let what the people are saying go in one ear and out the other. It's a good opportunity to pick up new vocabulary and also practice your listening skills. Intonation as well, so for example, when the sound goes up and down, as well as the rhythm of the language as well. So language is basically a tool for communication, and like any tool, to get better at using it, you need to practice using it a lot. So for example, if you want to get better at listening, then all you need to do, then what you need to do is listen and listen to a lot of Japanese. If you want to get better at speaking Japanese, then you need to speak as much Japanese as possible. And I don't think there's anything better than speaking to a native speaker of the language. So me personally, I was lucky enough to make some Japanese friends at university and also after I graduated university. And it was a good opportunity for me to practice my Japanese with them. So at the beginning, I found that the Japanese I spoke was too textbook-like. And then after using things such as HelloTalk and just practicing with them, my Japanese became more fluent and Japanese-like. So that would be my last piece of advice would be, if possible, try and practice as much as you can with native speakers. Okay, so that was why I chose to study Japanese, how I studied Japanese, and also my tips for you guys. So if you have any more questions, please feel free to ask me in the comment section below. I'll be happy to have a discussion with you about anything about language learning in general or learning Japanese. And in the future, please be on the lookout for my favorite manga and favorite Japanese drama video. I'll see you guys next time. Mata ne!